This is Grapplers Talk.
What is up, fans of Grapplers Talk? This is Dave coming at you with another episode each and every week. Thank you to the fans for downloading, listening, tuning into the podcast. We appreciate all the love and support we get out there. And this episode is brought to you by Spar Bar Soap. Go to their website. I do have a little bit of an announcement. Our promo code is Grapplers Talk, Grapplers, plural. Grapplers Talk, you get 10% off your order at Spar Bar Soap. Some of the best antibacterial soap out there. We appreciate them, our friends over there. And I'm joined today. I'm really thrilled for this one. I always like, we were just talking a second ago, I like meeting extended family through our jiu-jitsu lineage. And I'm thrilled today to be joined by a well-respected gentleman, a Cesar Gracie black belt, and an amazing coach out in the Pleasant Hill area. None other than Cameron King, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm very well. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing amazing, man. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're very busy, man, and always coaching, always out there taking care of your students. I really just have to get into it. How did you get into jiu-jitsu? Who brought you to it? And how did you end up at Cesar Gracie's?
Honestly, one of my friends, she was going through it at the time, and then we were walking past Caesar's, and she was like, "I want to do this." And I wrestled beforehand, so I was like, "All right, well, we can go ahead and go for this." And so we started together, and she actually got her black belt before me. And yeah, that's how this works. Like, I mean, I just stayed with it basically.
Yeah, it's all about consistency, right? With martial arts.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. It took me 13 years to get my black belt, and I just kept with it, kept training. I've been teaching since I was a blue belt, so it's like it's one of those things. It's part of my life now. It's part of my love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of at this point, it's hard to imagine life without jujitsu, right?
Pretty much, pretty much.
Yeah. So let's talk about your coaching, right? You said you started coaching as a blue belt.
Yes.
How did you kind of develop your coaching style? Like, did that come from wrestling prior, or
Yeah, I
how did
definitely
that
came from
build?
wrestling.
Yeah.
It definitely came from wrestling, like the yelling and the pushing children and pushing every one of my students to be better came from wrestling. So it's just like I had a coach in high school. His name was Coach Keck, and he pushed me to get better grades. He pushed me to be a better human being, and that's really how it worked for me. And I'm just trying to pay it forward.
Yeah. Do you run your practices more like a wrestling style camp, or like, I mean, obviously I always tell people wrestlers are the toughest ones out there because of their conditioning, because of the way they train and the way they prepare for matches. Is that kind of the similar approach you take to their jujitsu?
I've kind of mixed the styles because it's like I do a lot of cardio because like I always tell people, if you don't have good cardio, it's gonna be all bad for you. It's like I had to realize that early in my jiu-jitsu career because I was like kickboxing and doing everything else a long time before I started jiu-jitsu. And it's like my cardio was absolutely horrible. So then I had to develop it as I went forward.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to have that cardio in jujitsu or in anything, but that's really going to be the test, right? If you don't have the wind to survive the round or survive the, defensive submission or whatever you got to do, right? You got to have cardio. It's very
It's
important.
like it's the most important thing. I mean, it's like cardio, technique, and I mean, actually, no, the most important thing would have to be technique, but
Yeah.
cardio really helps.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can't survive, I mean, and you're winded, it's hard to do the technique, right?
Exactly. You'll forget technique is because you're too winded. You can't
Yeah.
breathe, and all of a sudden you're dying out because you've never been through it before. So I try to push my kids and push my students as far as possible to make sure that they're prepared for the situation at hand.
Yeah. Preparation is key, right? We can
Yes.
never be too prepared for the situation we're about to go into, especially as a young competitor, as a young kid. It's crucial, right? It's all in the preparation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you happen to catch the UFC main event with Marab and Sean O'Malley?
Yes, sir.
Talk
I
about conditioning, right? It looked like Marab never got winded. Like you see
didn't
him
get
over
tired
there.
whatsoever.
Yeah, you see him over there in the corner and his chest isn't expanding. Like you, and then you see the corner of Sean O'Malley and he's on the stool. His shoulders are shrugged. He looks exhausted.
Taking
Huge
deep breaths.
difference. Yeah, there's a huge difference in preparation. I definitely saw that. But so let's talk about a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit to how you got introduced into wrestling. Why did you go into wrestling as a sport? Did you have other family members or anybody that you knew that was wrestling, or was it just trying something new?
No, one of my friends was a wrestler and he was like, "Hey, you want to wrestle?" And I said, "Sure, whatever." And when I started wrestling, I wrestled at College Park and they introduced me to a different style of life basically because I when I started high school I was like 220 pounds. I was a nice little like pudgy fat kid. It was nice. um, and then by the age of 16 I was down to like 160. I remember Hell Week. I remember sprinting. I remember almost dying. And it was one of those things that really changed me and changed my outlook on things.
Yeah, that will and that drive that wrestlers have, right? What is it
Exactly.
about it? What is it? Just because it's so hard and you have to get rid of that quit inside of you? I don't know what it is.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just getting rid of the quit and getting rid of the, oh, I can't do. Because I'll tell you right now, it's one of those things we could do just about anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about challenging yourself, right? And
Yes.
bringing the best out of yourself with that. Can you share a little bit of light about training at Cesar Gracie's gym and some of the different training partners that come through there? I know occasionally some scrap pack guys come in, and we were talking some of the old school guys that come in, and just talk about the training environment over there in Pleasant Hill.
It's always been a pretty tough, pretty pure training environment for us. All of our black belts are well equipped. I've got to learn from some of the best. We've had people like Vinny Magalesh and Kyotera, Steve Heath, Nick, Nate, Jake, Gilbert, so many different people that I've got the opportunity to learn from who have shaped my jujitsu to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like even when I had nothing, like you know what I mean, they would fucking feed me. And like you know what I mean, Caesar let me clean the mats when I couldn't afford being able
Right.
to train. And then he gave me the opportunity to teach. And you know what I mean, I got to adopt the kids class from Moses Baca. And Moses is one of the
It's been around forever.
yes,
Yeah.
he's one of the nicest, like most dangerous human beings I've ever had the opportunity of meeting. Like we are a family and it has been good to be united.
Yeah.
Basically, like yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Cesar Gracie's camp, like if you think about it, I've been around it since, the early 2000s, and it really has always been a tight group. It's not like a camp where you get like, too much infiltration and people bouncing around. Like
No.
it's still the core group of people and it just expands,
Yeah. I'm
and
like
the
I
newer
went through white to black.
generation. Yeah.
Yeah. Like white to black. I've been with Caesar and Caesar has given me so many different opportunities to grow. And it's like I'm so appreciative of my family because they
Yeah.
are my family.
Yeah, and if you know the Caesar Gracie system, it's not a easy road to black belt, right? He doesn't just give out an easy black belt. He
No.
never has. His
No.
system has always been a longer system. If you get
Yeah.
it in 10 years, you must be a superstar. You know,
That's true. That's
we
true.
got Dave Batista who's been doing it for a while, and like it's a tough system, right? It's
Yeah.
not your average system. There's still some honor in that belt system there. It hasn't been
Yes.
watered down and anything
Exactly.
like that. That's why I've always appreciated it. um but let's talk about you're at Grappling X as we speak, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting in my car.
yeah
I'm
i
waiting to coach.
yeah, I don't want to take too much of your time, but let's talk about the competitors you have going today. Talk about the pride you get when you see them achieve their goals.
Oh man, it's something different because it's like I'm a competitor myself, but it's like being able to see these children be the best version of themselves. It's always really, really nice. Right, hold on. One of
No,
the
it's all
kids has
good.
just seen me in the car.
They're like, "What are you doing, coach?"
Hi, sweetheart. How are you? What are you guys doing? You ready for Grapple Next? Yeah. I'm doing a podcast. How are you guys? You're doing a podcast? Yes. It
Tell them
is.
say hi.
Oh, can they say hi? Oh,
Good luck today.
that's Trinity and Ellie. Trinity is one of the best. You know what I mean? She's about to come out there with her gray belt and smash everyone.
There
It's
you
about to be
go.
great. It's about
Good
to be great.
good job, girls.
Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, you want to see the bear? Oh, the bear's so cool. Oh my goodness. Hey, I'll see you guys inside. Okay. It's fuzzy. It is fuzzy. Hey, I'll see you guys inside, okay? All right. Give me a hug, Trinity Trip. Good luck out there, boo boo. Okay, I'll see you guys in a second, okay?
That right there is organic and shows the type of coach you are right there, man. I appreciate seeing that.
They saw me in the car and they start waving, and I was like, how does it do? Hold on.
No, it's all good, brother. But yeah, let's talk about some of your competitors today. And like I said, what's that feeling that goes through your body when you see them, on the podium?
It's one of those things. It's like they've done the work to be there. Like, especially all the children who train with me and train with me consistently. They have done all the work to be there. I have sat there and yelled at them, put them through hell and high water to make sure that they get to where they need to be and they can feel the best version of themselves. So at that point, even if it's win or lose, they know that they did everything possible to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like creating a system where they're deserving of self and their self-esteem will never diminish. It'll always go up at that point
Right.
because it's like, look, man, you did the work. And win or lose, no matter what, you did the work and you sat there and you grinded. You should be proud of that in general. But then when they come home with that medal and they're showing their parents and they're bouncing around like crazy people,
Yeah.
it's an amazing feeling. It's an
Yeah.
amazing feeling.
I think there's I think that my students' achievements outweigh any achievements I've ever done, man. The
Oh,
feeling
most
I
definitely.
get, yeah, when you see them accomplish their goals, and especially the little ones, right? But even adults, right? When you see them push through whatever adversity they've faced in life and see them accomplish that goal and get on the podium or whatever it is, right? Maybe just have a good
Yep.
match.
Yep.
It is so rewarding. Like,
Exactly. It truly is.
yeah.
Teaching's a different lifestyle. Even as a competitor, like you said, it just feels better sometimes when they win because you're like, bro, no matter what I do out here, it's watching someone else succeed, watching someone of your family succeed is always going to be a special feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
There's nothing like it, right?
No, nothing like it.
Yeah. So what kind of goals do you have for the future for your personal jujitsu journey? Obviously, you've reached black belt, okay, and you have a well established kids program, but we got to keep evolving, we got to keep growing. What are some of the goals that you have in mind for the future?
I'm looking for some of these masters titles, to be honest. I'm trying to beat some of these Brazilians, to be real.
Yeah,
Like, I'm trying to go out there and be the best version of myself, like I tell these children, because I'll never stop grinding until I reach my goals. Like, and in the future, at some point, yes, I do want to open my own school and all that. But right now, these children depend on me. My coaching staff is an amazing one right now. I have some of the best coaches like I could possibly ask for, including my wife and my son. Like my oldest son is an amazing coach. My wife is an even better coach. It is pretty wild to watch.
yeah,
And it's like we grow closer as a family the more we coach together. And these kids are important to all of us. So I don't really know when I'm gonna like branch off because right now the most important thing is them. And I'm just like, it's not important to me right now. I'd rather compete.
Yeah.
I'd rather sit there and, like, you know what I mean, put smiles on people's faces and make sure that these children know that they have someone that they can depend on. Like, so
Yeah.
that's just how it's working for me.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. And it's all about timing for certain things, right? You got to know when the season is to move on and when the season
Yes,
is to stay and water your crop,
yes,
and that's what it boils down to, man. But yeah, it's important, especially with the kids program, right? You gotta be on top of your stuff. You gotta have a good coaching staff around you. These kids need to stay
yes,
encouraged, right? There's a lot of things
yes,
that kids battle on a daily basis, that can get them down, and
yeah.
and we don't always know what it is, but you got to have a good staff around you to be there for those kids and uplift them and to empower them with the art of jujitsu, right?
Yes, and then it's like different people have different styles of uplifting, and I feel like all of my coaching staff is very good about this because all the different personalities are still one personality, and everybody still is just as helpful and just as loving. And it's like, yeah, I might be the really mean one because I'm always the one pushing,
Yeah,
but then the children still know that I love them and they can depend on me.
right, right.
Like,
Kids need to know that they can rely on somebody, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah, it's very crucial.
like it's very, very important.
Very crucial. Do you think you could submit yourself if you were to face yourself, a clone of yourself in a match?
I know my weaknesses. Yes.
Yeah. How
I
how
know my
would that
weaknesses.
what submission would that be that you catch yourself with?
It probably be either an Estima lock or a heel hook. Like, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It'd probably be either one of those things.
Yeah.
But then it's like everything else I'm pretty solid on. I've been really working my heel hook defenses. I have one
Yeah.
of my favorite training partners, actually two of my favorite training partners. One who consistently heel hooks me in a gi, but you know what I mean.
I
Especially while you're training for Arte Suave, it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things, right? Like you should
Yeah.
be able to manufacture motion no matter what. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Shout out to Brian Lee and Nick Gyrock because they have always made me better. My
Yeah.
coaches have always made me better by crushing me. I got, like, you know what I mean, Guga Campos and then Sean Nick Morad. I have so many different people who have made my jujitsu journey better.
Yeah.
And it's like they have shown me my weaknesses to where I understand what I need to get better at.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's about, man. We gotta be able to identify those weaknesses so we can improve them.
Yes,
But yeah, I always thought that was an interesting question, right? If you could go against yourself, how would you get yourself, right? It's
exactly.
it's a good one, man.
I need me one of those cloning machines and then make sure because I'd be like the Rutulo brothers right now if I could do that. Like, you
That's
know what I mean?
that's the secret ingredient. You got to have a twin, and they got to be
Exactly.
identical, and they got to be just as good.
Exactly,
Like
like the Figueroas, the Rutulos.
yeah.
Like, come on, dog. They all
Even the
got
Diaz
somebody that they
brothers, right? Let's say that,
yes.
man. You have a
Yes.
brother that's close in size, close in age. That's your sparring partner for life.
For life. For life. Like
Yeah.
I've watched Nick and Nate beat the hell out of each other on many different occasions.
Oh yeah.
Like
It's
many different occasions.
that's the secret sauce right there. You got to have a brother that's close in age or a twin or whatever it is. That's
Like
the key.
we fighting. We fighting.
But you brought up something. You brought up heel hooking in the gi. That's a rule that Arte Suave, some newer organizations are starting to adopt. I don't think that's that big of a deal. Now, that's
No.
my opinion. I think if you should be able to get out of a heel hook, it doesn't matter if there's a gi or no gi or anything.
A submission is a submission. We all need to realize this. And it's like, if you can't get out of the submission, why cry about it?
Yeah.
You sit there, you tap, you restart, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's one of those things. A submission is a submission. And heel hooks aren't more dangerous than any other submission. It's the person doing it, as long as they have control, who really
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? As long as you ain't trying to rip it, this is the same thing as if, like, you had me in a fully extended arm bar. Are you going to try to snap my arm off, or
Yeah.
are you going to be like, all right,
Give this
we
guy the
know that you
opportunity.
give him the opportunity, bro? Like, come on.
I have seen that in some matches, where guys will get on them and just rip them, dude, and it's
Yes.
wild, but I mean that's part of the game, dude. Like there's
No, it
people
truly
that are
is.
very effective at ripping them.
There's a difference though, right? Because competition, I'll snap your arm off.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to training and being a good training partner, you always have to
Yes.
give someone space to move.
Yeah.
Like you have to be intelligent enough to be like, okay, I have this, and not have that big of an ego where you're like, I'm gonna make you tap, I'm gonna break it. Like, nah, I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, be cool.
It's something that white belts really need to embrace, tap early, tap often. I tell my students all the time, hey, don't be afraid to tap. Like that's why we're here. We have to
Yep.
get better, but we can't risk our arm being fully extended and broken and not training for months, right? That's the crucial thing. You got to stay on the mats, whatever it is. If it's a little injury, you got to keep going through it, right? If it's a big
Yes.
injury, you still
Yes.
got to be in practice.
Well, I had a cast on for 8 months on my leg. And at that point, I was still training. I put some A3 pants on with the
Yeah.
cast on my leg and was
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm just going to train like this.
Yeah.
And honestly, it worked out for me. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I never stopped my journey in my past 15 years of training. I never really stopped.
Yeah.
And I don't plan on stopping either.
Right. That's what it's about, man. It's the consistency behind it. And there's people like, I mean, you said it same thing, but when I was younger, I had two shoulder surgeries. I was out for several months, but I wasn't out because I was going to every practice. I was watching, I was taking notes, I was doing journal entries. Like I couldn't physically train, but I was still there. And
Exactly. But
that's
that's the thing.
mentally, right? We got to train the mind just as much as we got to train the body.
Yep. And it's like I sat there, wrote everything down, then learned a new system of attacking because, you know what I mean, I couldn't use my leg. So
Hmm.
instead, I was out here straight arm barring people. I would let people pass guard and go for straight arm bars and go for different chokes from side control and things like that.
Yeah.
And just figure out how I'd be able to fight with the one leg instead of making the excuse of being, I can't train because I only have one leg.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't make the excuse. You go out there and you constantly train, especially if, like, you know what I mean? If I'm imploring that to my students and I'm sitting there telling them, yeah,
Yes.
you should be training, you should be pushing, you should be. I need to make sure I'm the example that is set
Right. It's crucial, man. You got to lead by example. That's
at
what
all
it's all
times.
about. Yeah.
At all times.
Especially as a leader in the gym. But yeah, it's so crucial, man. People, they'll get an injury, and then next thing you know, they're out months. Then it turns into years, and then next thing you know, they're not training jujitsu anymore, and it's the worst nightmare,
Exactly. Or they get a girlfriend. That's usually how that works too.
Hey, I know exactly. I told somebody the other day, I go, I've been training for almost 20 years now. I've seen this before. Okay. They get a
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend, it gets real serious. Next thing you know, they're gone.
Exactly. I don't want you training. Why are you at the gym? I'm like, dude,
Yeah, come
come
on.
on, bro. It's a couple hours a day. You ain't gonna die.
I try to tell them, I'm like, hey, you got to get them in here too. That's the secret,
Yep.
right? Because then the whole
Yep.
family's training.
Yep. That's how you do it, bro. My wife has been training for almost 9 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you keep that shit going.
Yeah.
Like, you keep it going.
That's what it's about, man. But yeah, if you could sneak the girlfriend into practice and convince her to put on one of those gis, you'll be able to continue training.
Yeah, nah, bro. All you gotta do is tell her, hey, look, if you want to be closer and you want a chance to beat me up, this is it.
Yeah, yeah.
This is it.
You
This
know
is
those
it.
times where you get frustrated with me and you look at me and you just would like to choke me. You get that
Exactly.
chance.
Exactly. Come on, baby. Come on.
Oh man, Cam. Well, dude, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to leave it on a couple notes. If you have any messages for your students, for fans out there, I just want to give you a few minutes. Take the floor. The floor is yours.
Only message I really have is never stop training. You keep pushing forward. You keep letting jujitsu excite you and take you places that you've never been. Like you continue to fight, And no matter your situation, like this is one of those things that you never really stop. You push, and that push, it extends into life. You make sure that, you know what I mean, like you're always going to be ready, because it's just like competition. It's like you never stop pushing, win or lose. Like, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's real, man. It's so important, man. Jiu-jitsu is a lifelong journey, and most of
It's a
these
lifestyle.
things that we experience in the gym, if you apply them to your real life and don't quit and persevere through all the bullshit you may be experiencing,
Yep.
then you're gonna turn out a lot better person. That's
Yes.
just facts.
Yes.
Cam, if anyone wants to train with you guys in Pleasant Hill, how do they come find you, and when are your kids' classes?
My kids' classes are 3:30 to 4:30 for the smaller children from 3 to 9, and 4:30 till 5:30 for the children that are 10 and up. A lot of the kids in my kids' class stay with me until they're about 18 or 19. So you have a bunch of oversized gorillas trying to beat each other up. And then on the opposite mat, you have the smaller children who are on the smaller side. Um, where you find us would be Pleasant Hill. It's right next to Outback Steakhouse off of Longbrook. It's 150 Longbrook. Yeah, man. Like, just come get us. Come kick it. If
Yeah.
you need to look us up, it's Cesar Gracie's in Pleasant Hill, or Gracie Fighter.
Yeah,
One or the
it's
other.
headquarters, right? That's always been
Exactly.
the
Headquarters.
headquarters. Yeah.
Headquarters. Like, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that's really what it is.
Yeah, man. That's the place. That's where you get the good jujitsu at, man. Go check out Cesar Gracie's in Pleasant Hill. Check out Cam. Go to the kids' classes. Go support him, man. He's an amazing coach out there, as we saw. But he's out there doing good things. So go out, support him. Also, again, thank you to our sponsors, Spar Bar Soap. Go check them out. Go on their website, type in Grapplers Talk, and you will receive 10% off your entire order. We're also partnered with Butterfly X. They just had a new drop of rash guards. They also have a few different things on their website, games, stickers. Go check them out, Butterfly X. If you type in code Grapplers Talk 10, you'll get 10% off your order over there from our friends at Butterfly X. So check them out. Cam, thanks again for being a part of this episode. This has been another amazing episode of Grapplers Talk. This is Dave, and we are out.
This is Grapplers Talk.